So, yeah, I'm most excited to see how his Zerg will perform. Because ZVZ, I think that's going to be very hard for him to win.
Yeah.
I think out of all the matchups that he would struggle in, ZVZ. Would you agree that would, if you had to guess, that would probably be his weakest matchup?
That should be his hardest matchup here.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I was talking about this a little bit on my stream earlier today, and about the various things, right? So what's hard for someone that's trying to play random? ZVZ and TVT would be very hard matchups, right?
PvP, there's more bluffing going on. PvP is a funny matchup in that, like, there's a lot of calculations you have to make and play odds a little bit more. It's very unique in that sense.
Which I think is another part of the reason why it's so hard for Protoss players to play against random, because even if they get Protoss, the thing is, if you're a Terran player and a Zerg player is playing random against you and they get Terran, they're dead. They're dead, right? Kind of like I feel like we might see with FlaSh against Zero. If he gets Zerg against Zero, I don't think so, man. I think Zero's going to be able to beat him. But
the thing is, I mean, I can't imagine FlaSh wants the game to go into mutalist tech, which is pretty much what ZVZ is all about.
Exactly.
Queen's got the greatest Mutamicro ever. So it's like...
And there's no way his Mutamicro can be as good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure it's good.
As much of a superhero as FlaSh is, we have to be very realistic here as we go into this. Now, I would be blown away if he actually got into a Muta dogfight and then won there.
His Wraith control is magnificent, and it's very similar to Muta control, so he might actually surprise us a bit.
Now, I'm also curious how, if going up against Queen here, how will FlaSh handle a game if it's like a PvZ? I mean, Queen is really good.
No, I know.
Now, also with PvP here, Best and Bisu are both very accomplished, in that matchup and good at the decision making. I mean, if they don't open up with some kind of a forward pylon, gambling that maybe they're up against a Zerg. I don't know. There's so much that can happen
here. So much that can happen. We can't even possibly go over every
there's just so many variables, and we're going to have a lot more to say. And again, remember, it's not just that there's all these matchups you have to know. It's also that every map has different features and different things that you have to take into account when you're playing on it.
And these are all 4-player maps.
Right.
And so that's something to take
into consideration. I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah. Okay,
well,
all 4-player maps.
I was thinking it's kind of funny, right? 4-player maps, random becomes stronger because you don't know where they are. 2-player maps, you can actually do a build where you figure it out real quick with a faster scout. So that kind of helps him a bit. But yeah, what's your prediction for these matches? Like, who do you think he's going to beat, and who do you think he's going to lose to? Just overall.
So the first player he's going up against is Best, and I'm actually going off of what the players were saying.
The Jin Jin video?
Yeah, or just on their streams in general. Basically, Best is not confident. Best is already, and this is actually a fact, is that random is strongest against Protoss just because of the openings that you have to figure out. You can.
I think everyone agrees on that. Like, Protoss has the hardest time dealing with random.
Yeah. Like when I get random, it's like, all right, I'm trying to use as much probability and try to make the best decisions and hope that I don't scout them last in their Zerg because I'm probably going to die. So Best
that's the strongest random race is last scouted Zerg.
Yeah. So that's especially if they happen to be a Zerg main normally. Then you're like, okay, great. This is So Best was not feeling that confident. Queen and Bisu both said that they can win. Unless, let's say they both said, look, if he gets Terran twice, then it's going to be hard. But also, let's not forget, like, Bisu and Queen are, like, really good, and they do have their own pride here as well.
Of course. They're champions.
So we're going to start on the map, the New Empire of the Sun. We'll go to Optimizer and then Circuit Breakers. I was a little bit surprised by the maps they picked for this, but...
I believe New Empire of the Sun and Optimizer are both going to be in ASL next season, so the pros are playing them a lot. I know Optimizer is going to be. And then Circuit Breakers is just Circuit Breakers. I love that.
Circuit Breakers is the vanilla ice cream of StarCraft maps.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
So my thought on this, because I watched that video as well, guys. If you want to see the pros kind of sound off, Jin Jin did a wonderful translation. Check him out, Jin Jin 5000 on YouTube. He translates a lot of the pro gamer videos, and they did talk about that. And Bisu was very confident. Zero was pretty darn confident, and then Best was completely not confident. But looking at this, Tasteless, I think FlaSh is going to beat Best, and I think he's going to beat Bisu. I honestly do.
I'm most excited about the Bisu match. I'm glad we saved that for last, because Bisu is so good at PvP and PvZ. And I think, I mean, to be honest, BSU can take a game off of FlaSh PvP. It is possible.
Yeah.
And I'm also, just from a Protoss player's perspective, I'm really curious to see how Best and BSU open. We do not have random in professional matches, guys. Everybody has solutions in ladder. Everybody's encountered a random. But what is the tournament play versus a random player? I don't know.
We really don't know. The highest we've seen random played is by Bishop in qualifiers. He's a really great amateur Terran, one of the best amateurs. And he did go random in a few tournaments, but he's an amateur. He's not the greatest player of all time like FlaSh. So it didn't really. Like, I don't think the meta has evolved yet. I think that FlaSh is actually going to show us how you're supposed to play random, what types of builds you're supposed to use, and I think that he's going to evolve random as a race that people pick.
You got to think, I mean, FlaSh is essentially like the Bobby Fischer of StarCraft here. Like, he just sees the game at a level that nobody else.
Yes.
And so what builds is he also going to choose here? He knows his opponents don't know what race he is. He might have techniques. Let's say that he gets T.E.N. There might be a special exploit for how he opens that we're going to discover here. This is so crazy. I'm getting tingles.
I know.
I know.
Me too.
Our game is ready. It begins now. The esports night. FlaSh vs. Best. FlaSh debuting his random against one of the best Protoss players in the world.
FlaSh gets Protoss. That's an exciting first thing to see.
Okay. So PvP.
Yeah. So
go ahead, please.
Here's the interesting part, right? I was talking with T.E.N. a little bit about this. He thinks that you should probably open with forward gate against random as Protoss here. But that would be weakest against Protoss, right? It's a very reasonable play against Zerg, of course, the one gate expansion builds with Zealots pressuring. And then the forward gate Zealot pressure against T.E.N. You know, both standard stuff. Everyone's seen that a bunch of times. It's good stuff. But against Protoss, suddenly it's like, oh man, they can put a lot of pressure on you. If you don't get a second gate, then you know, they can get rid of your gate, they can kill your gate, and then win the game through that. But also, if you get a second gate, what if they go DT? Your detection will be slower.
Okay, so first thing I was looking for here, Best did not scout after Pylon. That's one of the fixes that a lot of players will do. Is they'll sack one probe early on just to get the confirm. Again, he doesn't know, is he against a Zerg? Is he against a Protoss? Is he against a T.E.N.?
He has no idea.
And another thing about PvP here is this is a funny matchup in that, like, Reavers, Shuttles, and Dragoons are actually all really frustrating units to control sometimes.
Sure.
Like, sometimes the Reaver just won't shoot. The Dragoon is actually one of the glitchiest units in the game. It can get stuck all the time. Really good Protoss players can control that really well and navigate that, but it's a very unforgiving matchup where even if you start to get an engagement and it goes a little bit incorrectly, it kind of spirals out of control.
Yeah.
Now, at this moment, by the way, we're going to have Best come in here and scout.
This is a big moment.
Boom.
Yeah.
Confirmation it's a Protoss.
He actually scouts him first, and I mean, Best is a good PvP player, right? So the fact that he made gate in main, and it's a pretty standard build, and he scouted FlaSh first, and it's his mirror matchup, I feel like this just became, or it should have become, Best favored, and this is where we can see just how strong FlaSh is in PvP.
Throwing down the Manor Pylon, he's actually going to have room to do a second Manor Pylon right there.
God.
And that actually, if they get the 2 in a row, well, we can't confirm right now if there's a Zealot making or not, but
I don't think that
is. Well, this means that Best will skip ahead in a pretty big lead here. That is actually one trapped probe. He managed to glitch out the other trapped probe, but especially when they get a Manor Pylon in the middle of your minerals, then it can really force your workers to go all the way around. So one Zealot comes out, and now this is a light pressure opening that Best is doing here. Best has one Zealot coming across the map because this Zealot from FlaSh, he's going to try to kill this Pylon as fast as possible. What Best wants to do is draw the attention away and force that Zealot to chase the other Zealot. Second gateway coming down here.
Yeah, I like it for Best. You know, this looks good for him right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, FlaSh is staying calm. This is something that FlaSh does better than anyone, I would say, is staying calm in these situations.
Some of the hardest micro to survive in StarCraft is actually the Zealot and probe attacking your probes. Two Zealot hits and 2 probe hits kills a probe.
Yeah.
Probes die incredibly fast. They're very brittle units. And notice this, he cannot really target the Pylon as long as the Zealot is in here. So Best has basically played an S-class opening here. Everything is going according to plan. Gets that one probe.
Yeah, he does.
Good blocking there. It looks like he will only end up losing one probe in that process.
Yeah, not so bad, right? I mean, it's a pretty solid hold right there. But it is 2 gates for Best. It looks like he's really focusing on getting out some units right now. Now, what do you think? Do you think he's just going to try to, like, for instance, flood Dragoons and utilize what should be superior micro with the Dragoon?
He could. He definitely could. Did FlaSh ever scout? I don't think he actually did. The way that these units are moving out, it looks like he's going to... I'm always impressed when there's pros that can do this, like in a situation where it's like you don't even know where they are on the map right now. You're going to check with... Because, by the way, you lose 1 or 2 Dragoons early on, and you can lose in a Dragoon dogfight later on.
FlaSh actually favors late scouting, like basically always in all matchups. Like he scouts later than anyone.
Yeah, it's actually one of these weird phenomenons where it's unbelievable how late he'll scout, and sometimes I don't truly understand it. He seems to just have all of his builds optimized to where he can kind of pretty much hold off everything. He really values the extra probe mining the minerals.
Yeah.
So, you know, just the way this map is shaped, you end up with this large high ground area. There's a couple different ramps that can come up here, but it's hard to push this with Dragoons. Dragoons fighting Dragoons that are above them on a high ground area is like one of the dumbest fights you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Because Dragoons don't fire fast, and the chance of missing. Now, he's got to be careful here. 1 Dragoon, by the way, bugging.
I like that the high ground in the middle here.
Yeah.
Really helping him out there. Can just fall back to it. Okay, so FlaSh has gone for Robo into the second gate, whereas obviously Best has had second gate for a while now and goes into his Robo.
So PvP is a matchup where you can win the game without expanding. You can absolutely push them and just kill them.
Yeah.
And that might be what Best is going to try to do here.
Now, FlaSh is on that high ground. He has 1 less goon than what we see coming here.
Okay, I'm a little bit surprised.
Gets that first volley. That's a pretty big deal, I would say, right?
Okay, actually better control here by Best, though.
Definitely looks that way. All right, a couple goons picked off. He's going to lose another one. There it goes. So Best up a little bit extra there. He does have another goon coming down. Takes his high ground for a moment. Just skips that Zealot altogether, trying to target down these goons.
You can see the Dragoons missing some of those shots as they try to fire up onto the high ground. Now with the Zealot alive here, you get a little bit of a tempo edge here. Okay.
That's really going well for him right now. You can see FlaSh just getting out micro.
Okay, 2 more Dragoons are going to come up here. Actually, this could snowball here.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? He's going Observer, too, so no help there from the Robo. He's got to pull probes, I think.
Yeah, this is actually, this is almost fatal here. I don't know if there's a Reaver being made right now. I actually don't see if the tech is up. It should be. I think that Best may end up taking him out here. There's going to be a few more Dragoons reinforcing here. If Best controls this right and doesn't let those Dragoons get trapped, one is trapped.
Good trap right there. So his second goon pops out as well. He should be able to take out these goons now. He does have the Observer going across. He's going to scout a Nexus for Best.
Wow.
So I think there's no way to look at this other than Best is certainly ahead, but how far ahead, right? He's going to be playing against a Reaver here. Is FlaSh just going to push?
Oh, this is big if he can actually get the Observer as well. This has been an action-packed PvP here, by the way.
Yeah.
He's going to get the Observer kill. Oh my god, he's not. We see this in StarCraft 2, where we talk about, you know, what Robo units were killed off, and it's annoying because you have to make them again, but keeping that Observer alive is very helpful. Keep in mind this game can oftentimes be decided by 1 Scarab connecting with a lot of probes because it wasn't seen in time.
Yeah. So true.
Okay,
Observer popping over. He sees no Nexus. I think that's really important to think about.
It's so the situation in this matchup right now is one where Best is waiting for his opponent to either expand or push and try to end the game.
Yeah.
And we see a probe here, and it looks like with the minerals saved up, he will be making a Nexus.
It's so much later, though, right? The Nexus of Best is just about to finish.
Okay, you know what? He might actually... No, he's not going to make the Nexus. Sometimes you put the probe there to make it look like you're getting ready to expand.
Absolutely.
And then...
see that all the time, Tasteless.
Yeah. But he's going to go for a push here. Now, was there Reaver tech for Best? I actually was...
He did make Reaver tech. He doesn't have a Reaver yet.
So there should be a Reaver
should be very
slow
soon,
crawling out here.
Yeah.
And this is going to come down to control here.
Yeah,
there's the Reaver, but there's no shuttle to pick it up, so it's a little bit... You can juggle a Reaver and make magic happen in PvP.
Well, it's a good spread of goons, man, and Best has a lot of goons here. He has more.
This is a narrow bottleneck to push. Oh!
Whoa!
He's gonna...
Okay,
the shuttle's
well,
still alive.
This looks good for Best, man.
Yep.
Good targeting from Best. FlaSh. Oh, he's losing unit after unit.
Another victory here. I think Best is, as far as I can tell, he's close to ending this. He's got the expansion up. He's mining. The Nexus started over here for FlaSh. And just very good control. I love the splitting of the Dragoon shots in the end. I would not be surprised if we actually see a counter push here, especially when you kill the shuttle and the Reaver.
Well, I mean, how can you, like, how can FlaSh ever stop that at this point, right? He lost the first scuffle, and then he just lost the second scuffle, and his Nexus is so much later. Look at this. FlaSh is dominated in supply right now.
Yeah. Again, that Dragoon push there early on really helped out a lot.
Oh, so much.
You know, when you get their Dragoon count low enough, they can't really counterattack you with anything.
He had the earlier second gate, and he netted, like, 2 or 3 units on that attack.
Yeah.
Right? So that's huge.
Okay, the shuttle's coming across the map now. Now, FlaSh has his own Reaver out here. You got to be careful when you do these Reaver pushes, too. There's a lot of games, even at the very best levels, where you had an edge and you just didn't quite control the fight that well. By the way, FlaSh also got a shuttle before the second Reaver, so he'll have the option to juggle here as well. There are just more Dragoons for Best, but on this map, the entrance is a little bit tight. The defender does get a bigger arc. We have a pylon put down here to draw some of the shots away.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, look at that. The double Reaver shot immediately erasing a goon. Another goon goes down. FlaSh trying to micro here with his Reaver, but he's so outmassed.
Yeah, and now
really good shot right there, though.
The Reaver goes down. That should be GG.
Yeah.
That's it. Game 1 in a PvP where FlaSh opened with random. It was a bit of a back and forth there, but ultimately, Best came in on top. You can see he's relieved.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, guys. This is where we're going to find out. Can you really be, can you compete with the best players in the world as random?
Now, we gotta point a few things out, because there's not many things that are truly random in StarCraft. Let me name a few of them. The race random, the spawning position.
Yeah.
Obviously high ground miss, high ground miss chance, and then T.E.N SCVs dancing on buildings, right? So those are the things that are truly random within the game. Now, this was the absolute best case scenario for Best. It could not have been better, because he went for a build that would have been weaker against Zerg, right? He scouted late. He scouted FlaSh first, and FlaSh was Protoss, okay?
Yeah.
Anything else happens there, then it's not nearly as good for Best. Not nearly as good.
Game 2 is ready. We're going to Optimizer. Again, FlaSh debuting his random. Big moment here in gaming and esports.
Yeah.
I think you made some excellent points, by the way. Okay, so what is he? FlaSh
He's Protoss again.
Okay, it's PvP again.
He just shook his head in the booth, by the way. He's sitting like feet from us.
Yeah, we're like right next
he's
to him.
like, he's doing that
He's actually smirking to himself, like, all right.
The head shake that you know so well, living out here for so long.
Yeah,
it's like oh, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these are the best case scenarios, right? Because if you're going gate and main, and he's Zerg, you're already in trouble, right?
Right.
If you're going against FlaSh's T.E.N, you're in trouble. Okay, so the two Protoss, well, this is the thing. FlaSh has chosen to go random, so there's some luck involved here, and this was good for Best both times.
So when we saw that fight back there, one of the things that we gotta remember, it was a Dragoon duel. The Dragoons fighting in the middle of the map, and really good Protoss players. Sometimes they're so good with Dragoons. I don't think we talk about this enough, but it's almost like Muta Micro. Like, it's crazy some of the stuff you can do with Dragoons when you're really good.
Yeah.
You know? Where, like, you can eke out so much more damage, and there's a whole art to PvP Dragoon fights. And they both did a very good job, but Best was slightly better. Okay, now hold on. Here's where it gets funny. He did a forward gate build.
Yeah.
Which is doable against T.E.N and Zerg,
yeah, a little
but
bit
not
weaker
ideal.
against Protoss.
Not ideal. So now Best is starting off, in theory, at somewhat of a disadvantage.
Yeah, a little bit, I would say. But let's not forget, Optimizer, it's a big map, and they're cross spawns.
Right.
So this would be the least impactful for it, because the travel distance for FlaSh's Dragoons to pressure that is going to be much greater than if they were close spawns.
But the larger issue at hand here is that the entrance to your base is oftentimes where games are decided, right?
Absolutely.
Dragoon Reaver pushes, and you don't want this, like the gateway is just junk in the way there.
Yeah.
That doesn't help you in fights. You want something like one pylon there to kind of draw a few shots. So, again, FlaSh not scouting here. Best going to the upper left. Now, just to jump in the driver's seat for a second here, thinking of Best, if I found them in this position because of the awkward spot on my gateway, I would be tempted to do a 3-gate all-in from here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where it's
I
like,
think that's a great
don't
call.
make this about defending.
I think it's a great call, Tasteless. Like, I think that's a really reasonable strategy to go with in this type of situation, right? It kind of negates your poor positioning. And, I mean, yeah, there's some risk involved. Like, if they go DT, you're going to be in trouble, right? But
Yeah.
it's a strong build. It can pick up a win.
Let's also keep in mind, since FlaSh didn't scout, FlaSh is unaware of the presence of the gateway at the entrance. He's unaware that basically Best rolled the dice and did not get the favorable opening here.
Yeah, that's something to mention, especially considering game 1 he made it in his main base. But at the same time, I bet you that FlaSh theorized that Protosses should be going forward gate against his random.
Okay, here we go. Again, you got to be very careful. This is really tricky micro to pull off. So far, FlaSh has not lost a probe, which is really incredible.
Well, his SCV micro is amazing in these types of situations as well. And the probe micro is somewhat similar.
Look at this.
Yeah, he's doing great. Look at those
Not
awesome
going to lose
drills.
a worker. Okay, that was very impressive. We're going to have the Zealot do one more dive in here. He's trying to find the injured. Oh, misclick there, hit the Nexus. Okay, he
Really well handled
did
by
not
FlaSh.
take a scratch. Now, the probe has come down here and is going to try to hide. Keep in mind, scouting in a PvP, if you can see what they're doing, this is one of the matchups where if you have map hacks, you will beat people so much better than you.
Oh, yeah.
So
Totally.
he's hiding a probe in the hopes to scout. Great game sense here by FlaSh,
He's not
isolating
buying
that probe. Yeah. And what FlaSh is playing as, or what he's doing right now, is the build basically any Protoss player that's worth his salt is able to do.
Yeah.
It's the Robo first. He's going to throw down a second gate. And he'll probably be expanding from this. There is the option to try to do a Reaver push. This has become pretty trendy in the last couple of years, is the blind Reaver push.
Oh, the one without Observer?
Yeah, you just don't get obs. And
Tell me about that recently.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, you know, we had this weird period, Artosis and I, where StarCraft 2 came out, and so we were all focused on that, and we kind of came back, and in all the matchups, some things had changed. And,
Yeah.
one of them was the blind Reaver push, where you just skip obs and you just get to the front of their base, and it's very hard for them to hold off. You do just lose if they go DT, but
yeah.
you know.
Oh, FlaSh actually taking a ton of damage on this goon.
This is one of the things about FlaSh not scouting early, is that the hull damage that the Dragoon is taking, that will matter later on.
But he has that extra probe mining.
He does. He can maybe get
Look at his
another
supply.
Dragoon.
He's up 3 supply, Tasteless.
Wow. So, like, I don't know. I'm a little bit worried here for FlaSh. Again, Best is looking for a fight. I mean, we might end up in the same situation where, because that one Dragoon took those hits there and did not... Oh, my God.
This is crazy.
Wait a
FlaSh
minute.
is in such a weird position right now. This can't...
I don't even know
if
what
Best just goes to his base... Look, they're...
Yeah, they...
This is wild. Well, I mean, that gate out front, I guess that could be like a free kill for FlaSh, whereas if FlaSh pulls back with his units really quickly here... Look, he sees it, so he's going to have to pull probes. He's only got 2 goons. He should have 2 more goons, like, coming. Yeah, here comes the probes to fight.
Now, keep in mind, there's a Zealot in this mix here, so you can go probes very quickly now. He's going to go into... What's actually in the main here for Best? We don't have a shot of it.
He's got a gate. Maybe he has a robo, I'm not sure.
This is actually one of the most unusual situations to get into in a PvP where you're both past each other somehow.
That's so... Well, it's a really big map. It's very strange that this happened. You can see that FlaSh is microing very heavily on the other side, I think.
We would get a shot of what's happening over here.
Oh, man, I think that Best is just going to do it, man. He has a lot of units right now, but FlaSh, I mean, he's microing hard.
Yeah, well, he doesn't quite have that much. If the probes can get a surround on the Dragoon. Now, for the workers here, the workers are going to start plummeting.
Yeah, on both sides, I think, right?
Yeah.
But actually, Best is almost cleaned up. So FlaSh might actually be all right.
Well,
yeah, look. 8 kills on that one Dragoon.
Oh my God, he actually held it.
Yeah, he cleaned
I feel like we didn't swap between the screens fast enough here.
Yeah.
And it looks like actually in this, where both players had to micro intensely on both sides. Right now, I look at this and there's no way for Best to recover mathematically.
No, five probes against 8 or 9. That's I mean,
huge.
It sounds like it's only 4 more, but it's like almost twice as much.
Yeah, yeah.
Another lens to look at that through.
So, gosh, I wish we could have switched between the screenshots there to see what happened, because it looked like Best had everything under control, and then we came back and there was one Dragoon and it died.
Yeah.
So, this is one of the funny moments in StarCraft where both players have been rocked and the fight goes on.
But like you said, Best took so much damage. This seems like it is impossible to come back through.
Well, here's the thing, though. A few Reaver shots, 1 or 2 Reaver shots in the game can be turned upside down. I can't believe he has an idle probe there.
Yeah.
That is like
it's not like you're doing much right now.
This is adrenaline right now, yeah.
Ouch.
When you consider that he has 1 probe that's not even mining. There's not even a probe for every mineral patch.
Yeah, that was 20% of his income after the battle, by the way.
Yeah.
He just was like, you know what, 20% of my income? Screw it, don't need it.
The Observer's going to see only 2 Dragoons, and I think FlaSh might try to come in here with a killing blow.
He's going to walk across the map and kill him now.
But again, seeing FlaSh get in these Dragoon dog fights where he doesn't come out on top is a little bit worrisome. And
well, those would be the exact scenarios, right, that a pro should be able to micro their units that they've used for however long they played, at least 15 years, 20 years sometimes. It's like they're going to be better at that.
All right, 1-1. FlaSh definitely happy with that.
Yeah.
I got to say, that is an incredibly unusual situation that does happen in PvP where you both passed each other.
Yeah, that's weird.
And probes die really fast. To Dragoons and Zealots,
so brittle.
They are so brittle. It's funny because there's certain fights where probes can be kind of strong, but Zealots and Dragoons just wreck probes.
Yeah, probes are actually the weakest of the workers, right?
Yeah, they are the weakest.
I mean, they have a lot of potential micro-wise in certain situations, but yeah, because of 20 shields, that's like, they take full damage from everything in the game at the first 20 health, and then regular damage like the other workers at the other 20. So it's, they die so quickly. Like a Zealot on probes is hilarious.
Yeah, and so, I guess we're probably not going to have time to go to a replay. I'm just so curious to see what they would have tried to do. It's tied up 1-1. We had 2 PvPs in a row, FlaSh playing random. We're going to go to circuit breakers.
Yeah, and I hope he doesn't get Protoss again, man. That's just kind of...
I welcome anything, honestly. Like, it's... By the way, it's a frustrating moment for Best. He had a really strong showing. And in Game 2, they both passed each other. It's like they both made a mistake there.
It's funny, though, because Best got to his base first and had an additional unit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was something about the way they were microing that I think FlaSh switched his attention around better, which would make sense.
Yeah. Game 3's ready, guys. FlaSh as random. Let's see what he draws.
Wow. So FlaSh gets Zerg this time. And it's cross spawns, so most likely Best will scout him second, right? You don't ever end scout with Protoss. Right?
I never cross spawn scout with Protoss against random. I don't, because then you have the chance if you find them last, you really have no idea what the hell's going on in the game.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited to see this.
Forward gate or gate in main? You should just Nexus first.
Yeah, that's one of the things, right? Is that it looks like Best is going to pylon in main.
Yeah. That was going to be really late.
Okay, yeah. Pylon actually was a little bit late there.
Okay, scout after the pylon.
So I want to point out that, first of all, you can beat a good Zerg with gate in main. It's a very hard, it's a really hard technique. It's something I try to work on in my play because this is just something you're going to encounter on the ladder. It can be done. The problem is he going to go gate or gate gas? Gate gas on circuit breakers PVZ, I think has the most room for you to just lose the game. Now, another thing to note, because it looks like FlaSh is going to go hatchery first, you can cannon rush this. If it's hatch on 12 and you make a gate to main, you can do the cannon rush build. This is a map where it works.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, you go gate forge and then you make a pylon and cannon rush it.
Wow. Okay.
And it's a thing that you can do. It's specifically like against a random player where they just might not check right out in front of their hatchery.
Sure.
And you just make a cannon
I know which one you're talking about. Actually, on circuit breakers, you can do a pylon wall behind the gases if you want to do it that way.
You can do that too. There's a couple ways.
It's one of the only modern-ish maps where you actually have a spot you can do it on. All right, best scouts Zerg now. So this is his first telling of what's going on.
There is the option as well to try to have this build transpose into the Nexus at your expansion and a forge and a cannon there. It's just like if you put the forward gate, you just don't have a good wall in, so you can die to a counter all in.
Yeah, right. Like speedlings are going to be very tough to hold if he just pulls the trigger on it. Now, I saw some FlaSh playing some ZVP like again a year ago. He was really dabbling in off races. That was the first time he was talking about. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't 1 year. Maybe it was 2 years ago. He was talking about maybe going random in the future. So I saw him dabble back then, and his ZVP looked all right. I've heard recently that his ZVP is quite strong, but I don't know. I don't have anything to back that up because I haven't seen very much of it. Just a little bit here and there.
So Bess is going to go for the Nexus now.
Okay.
And so, yeah, this is like a wonky version of the forward gate build, basically.
Yeah.
It's like...
Is this like... Are you daring them to just go mass speedling?
You can die to that for sure.
Yeah, well... Is it like something where you're baiting them, or you're kind of playing a fine line where you hope they don't? You know what I mean? Like if Best just does this and then randomly at one point just makes a bunch of buildings to finish his wall off, then suddenly maybe the speedling is a terrible idea, right? Like that would be like a bait or something.
I mean, you could, for instance, like you're gonna get a second gate eventually. You can make another gateway at the entrance and kind of you end up with the building placement where if someone had just walked in, they would never know that you started out with this opening inside your main. So we have gas being taken here. Now, Bess really smartly hid the Zealot. And now these lings that have come across the map can't be used to try to defend. Let's see how many drones. It's similar to the problem that Protoss players face in PvP is that, like, a probe and a Zealot can just wreck workers. Good control. Losing a drone, by the way, early on in a PvZ is like, huge. Because you don't have that many workers to start out. It's not like Protoss or T.E.N where you're making workers the whole time. And actually, Bess is going to send more Zealots across the map. So this is a technique where you wedge the Zealot behind the minerals because the Zerglings don't get good surface area. And now there's going to be more Zealots coming up here. And it looks like he's actually...
He's kind of being a sneaky snake about how they're walking.
Yeah, he's setting them up in this weird angle, probably because I think FlaSh is going to try to ling all in here.
Yeah, it does look that way. He has so many lings right now. But the Zealots are waiting. So could this turn into some crazy base trade once again?
Well, it will be up to the Protoss to try to hold this. He needs to get like a real wall up here, and he needs to get all of his workers over here. And by the way, I love the Zealot counterattack, but this is it. This is absolutely a moment that Best could die.
Yeah.
He needs more than that.
Certainly does. It looks like, okay, he's got to target something here, like whether it's the probe right there, good hold position on it. Oh, FlaSh, I feel like he's...
Oh, the Zealot though at the top. The counterattack. Oh, the lings get in.
Yeah,
he needs to protect the cannon.
Oh, the probe's actually doing a pretty reasonable job here, I would say. That was pretty good. And now the Zealots at FlaSh's natural, giving him a hard time.
I think Protoss is pretty masterfully held this.
Yeah. Oh, man.
One Zergling is win. You're no longer worried. I don't know how many drones were killed back there. I'm very curious to find out. But this is a situation I think the Protoss is going to be feeling really confident in.
Absolutely. He didn't really lose probes. And the amount of lings that have been made, FlaSh's economy is not that good.
Yeah, but he did not lose that many drones.
That is true. The Zealot counter didn't do as much as I thought it might. But it did kind of screw up how well he microed those lings. I felt like the lings had more potential than what they got.
Is he going to do a second ling dive here?
I think, yeah. Yeah, why not? Like, this looks like such a bad situation for him, right? He is droning a little bit.
Okay, so what he's going to do, I think, is he's going to wait because he's seen that Best has sent out a lot of Zealots. If the Zealots come out again, he's going to then counterattack in here. Okay, so this is where the entrance is airtight. You just can't get through there. And so in a funny situation, you know, we were talking about this earlier, but the chances of oh, it's going to be Muta's next, by the way. The chances of a Ling all-in happen in this situation, I mean, it makes sense why he did it, but Best barely held it. And usually, especially if they do these Ling all-ins, and you stop it, and then you seal off your entrance, the Lings are really useless. It's not like Hydras where you can then try to go and shoot down the gateway and the forge. It doesn't...
Like, the Ling is a great unit and is, like, useful overall all game, but in a situation like this, it does nothing.
Yeah, it does nothing.
Like, you can spread them around, but I promise you, Protoss is not hiding anything. There is...
Yeah.
The odds of Best having something out on the map right now, it's like 0. Okay, we've seen the amount of Zealots he's made. We've seen his build order. He doesn't have anything out there.
Now, Zerg's behind, but this game's not over. We have the first Corsair coming through here. And this is where you comb the Zerg's base and just try to figure out, okay, is he making drones or do I see any tech? He sees the den over there. And he's going to see the Spire has finished.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. Doesn't want to get this one zapped.
There was an Overlord killed somewhere in here.
Yeah.
I don't know when that happened.
I think it was an Overlord that was near Best Space got caught, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Well, FlaSh, I mean, he's droned up to a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
But it feels like Best has basically done everything without a hitch, even though the opening build was a little bit odd.
Yeah, Best is in a good position. I mean, if you're the Protoss player, Zerg can do a lot to get you behind, but if you survive those circumstances, you're usually ahead because while they were making Lings, they had to stop making drones. You could be making probes the whole time. It's this really weird feature where, you know, T.E.N and Protoss, they make their workers in the same fashion. Zerg don't. So Zerg, it's like you're shifting gears constantly. Economy, attack, economy, attack. And so with a superior economy behind this, Best is going to be able to leverage this position and try to push out. And FlaSh will have to rely on a pretty turtled play. Oh, wow, he's making mutas. I was curious to see if there was maybe going to be just Scourge.
I'm honestly not too surprised to see the mutas right now. I feel like this gives him a bit more wiggle room. If he went directly into Hydra with how poorly the Ling attacks went early on, that feels like a much easier math problem to solve than mutas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Mutas at least complicate the game for Best a little bit.
Okay, so there's one DT. Now, I have to imagine, FlaSh is going to have an Overlord here. By the way, FlaSh has done a really incredible job of basically muting any benefits that Best was supposed to have here.
Yeah, and he's still muting these Zealots as well.
Now, FlaSh does not seem to have caught on to that this DT is... Yeah, 4 kills is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's enough, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Best still looking pretty strong, but I think that FlaSh will probably switch out of mutas, right? He's not going to go those forever.
Yeah, I think so. Right now, Best has the right game plan, though. He's gone back. He's massing up Corsairs. But I think this was a good way to just try to control the ground here, is just get the mutas out. He's got everything turtled up well. He's going to, I believe FlaSh is going to transition this into mass Hydras. What you do is, there's this, this was really popular about a year or two ago. It's not as popular now, but a lot of people still do it, is you would go mass Hydras, and then you get 11 mutas out, and you wait for them to push, and you snipe all the Templars with the mutas.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just, your Hydras overrun them, because Protoss can't fight without Psystorm. And in this case, what FlaSh did was got the mutas first. He's going to fill it in with the Hydras later on. So the element of surprise in this build is gone for FlaSh. Like, it's obvious to the Protoss, okay, mutas are on the map. I'll have to protect my Templars. If Lings can snipe the Templars as well, that's another big one.
That would be huge.
That's even better, if you can just throw away a few Lings to kill a High Templar.
Well, without the Templar, I mean, you are actually going to be in some serious trouble. Is he looking for just mass Hydra, or should he be also adding in Lurker at this point, or does he wait a bit longer on Lurker?
Okay.
Jesus.
Oh my God! All right.
Well, I guess
it was a wasted storm. Okay, hold on. Here come the mutas now. Oh, miscontrol there by FlaSh.
That's Storm.
Okay,
but
2
you know
Templars
what?
down.
There's like 10 Corsairs out, so I feel like that was not as bad as it looked.
No, I think, okay, so now the pressure's on here. Now, again, these spots, they're hard to break here with Zealots, but there might be enough. I don't see any lurker eggs coming down here.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little bit surprised he's not going for it. I feel like...
Well, there's actually a flank coming out. So
yeah.
you always do have to be careful when you're going into a really turtle position, because if Zerg flanks you with all their army, that's going to be...
Yeah. So
bad things can occur.
Best has come out looking for the push. He surveyed the area and has decided he can't really do any damage. He'll be taking a third. Now, FlaSh, by the way, has a little bit of extra minerals here.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit...
This is not the macro I'm used to seeing from the player named FlaSh.
Yeah. Usually FlaSh is,
You know what? He's... Hold on. I think he's actually banking on purpose. I know this sounds insane. I think he might switch back into mutas.
Oh, that could be.
Like, okay, he just spent it all.
All right, yeah, actually that was not a macro error then.
Yeah.
What he's going to try to do is, again, I think do a surprise muta attack.
I'm not 100% sure because he still has all the Corsairs, so maybe it is just Hydras all at once.
Or lots of Scourge. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Now, this is where Best is going to start massacring these Overlords. Okay, lots of Hydras coming up here. Best, his supply right now is like, this is where you push, basically.
Yeah, 162 against a red 101. That is not looking good at all for FlaSh.
Yeah.
I mean, Hydras are only at 1 supply, so it's like deceptively strong considering. But with these Psy Storms with this army, it looks to me like Best has got this, you know? I'm not feeling hyped about the FlaSh's position.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried for him here. Best has played a very conservative game from start to finish, just defending. He's just not overextending. Now, FlaSh doesn't have that much, is the problem. If you want to... If you want to... sorry, I got distracted there from production. If you want to try to push on this map... Oh my god, this is so many kills. It's easy to defend. The defender's always pretty comfortable on this map. It's a real macro map. I mean, it's hard to imagine Hydras just forcing their way in here and running over the Protoss. We may go to a super long game. We just saw tons of lurker eggs come out here. So this is a Zerg transitioning out of any kind of battle Zerg style and into a long, drawn-out game.
Well, I feel like every PvZ I ever see here ends up with lurker Hydra on this high ground.
Yeah.
That's like, we see that so often.
I'm a little bit surprised here. I see it. Okay, FlaSh is actually going to try to push up here. Now, Zealots are pretty useless against Hydras. You basically have to have Dragoons, and it almost looks like Best maybe overmade Zealots here. I feel like I'm only seeing 6 Dragoons.
Yeah, not too many Dragoons. He does have some Psy Storms in there.
Now, if the Zerg, if they can keep sniping the Observer like that, that's one of the easiest ways to just take down a Protoss player there.
Those lurkers are getting a huge amount of value.
And the lurkers, I didn't think he was going to push. I really thought he was going to turtle here. Now, keep in mind, see, from Best position here, he can't see those. There's one Observer coming over here. FlaSh will most certainly try to target that down.
He has a cannon here as well. Nice Psy Storm there from Best, shredding so many Hydras. Oh my god, just really massacring this army.
Okay, he's killed all the lurkers. I think that FlaSh had a cool idea. I don't know that he's going to be able to pull this off. I mean, FlaSh is taking no other bases. He's basically, trying to fit the square shape through the circle hole here. He's trying to just force his way through, and I think the Protoss is probably pretty happy with this exchange here.
Yeah.
And I think after this attack, there's just not going to be any real options here for FlaSh.
No,
GG.
You're certainly right about that. He does GG. So FlaSh ends up falling there. The Ling Flood strategy absolutely not working for him.
Yeah.
Not the greatest showing on his first match out, and this, I think everyone does think, should have been the easier match today, even though it's never easy to play Best.
We started with Best for a reason. I mean, as good as Best is, it was like, there's a real shot. And keep in mind, he did not draw T.E.N. FlaSh did not get T.E.N. This was FlaSh in the other matchups.
Yeah. And don't forget as well, game 1 literally could not have gone better for Best. In face gateway, scouts FlaSh first. Like, it was as bad as it gets for FlaSh Random. So I don't think that this series accurately shows what we're going to be seeing.
Well, we were talking about this before. Is FlaSh going to win every game? Is he going to go undefeated?
Yeah.
Right now, it's not looking good. We're going to go to the second show match after this break. That'll be FlaSh versus Queen. Do not go away.